Yes. Well, you will get used to them. Then if you are so hungry, then investigate hunger. It's a feeling, it comes and it goes. Yeah. That's okay. You are eight precepts, so you can have something, you can have something before noon. If you save something, a banana, it's always good. Banana, some bun, but no junk food. Crackers is junk food. Whatever. It's up to you. Yeah.
If I'm not allowed to ask, you let me know. Because drinks in the morning, but I'd like to speak to you. Because I do something for 10 at night every day.
Yeah.
Do you drink tea or hot chocolate or anything, or you just really don't? Because I don't want it to be a burden, because I have little class also. But I don't know sure what I can offer that is not burden. Because if I do it and you don't drink it, like 10 at night, I know he drinks in shore.
He drinks what?
It's not handsome, it's milk. But he drinks it every day, that's what we give him. I asked the doctor, it's healthy. It's like, if you're sick, it has all the nutrients. It's a nutritious drink.
Yeah, if it's a nutritious drink, that's okay. But if it's milk, no, I don't.
Powdered milk, but I don't know if it's milk, but it's powdered form.
Find out, if it contains milk, it doesn't work very well.
I thought it's only increasing fresh milk that has people who they can't drink fresh milk, but they can drink like processed milk. Okay, I'll just see if you return it, then I'll know that. Because I wanted to ask, because I didn't want to give him such a burden. But
that it's not, Thai people never think like that. They just give it. Because it's bun.
Well, it is food, but it's almost like I think it's food for me, but then it's kind of like a burden.
No, it's not a burden. Whatever, I don't want, I give back. Huh?
I see you have coffee. You have your own coffee, so I don't want to do coffee.
Don't worry about this, though. Just worry about your Buddha.
Don't worry, but I'm doing it anyway, so.
So for this month, you will get used to it. You will see it. After doing this for a while, you don't even notice it anymore.
But then I thought we're supposed to notice what helps with the meditation.
Yes.
Maybe I don't know yet. It may be too extreme for me or not.
It's not extreme.
I can survive. I don't really eat much.
It's not extreme.
It's quite uncomfortable, so I can't concentrate when I meditate.
Do you remember what Lumpur Khat said yesterday? If you don't face dukkha, we will not have means to overcome dukkha. So if you don't know dukkha, it's the first noble truth. The clearer we understand dukkha, the better it is for us. And there is dukkha everywhere.
Here.
Yeah, yes, you think you have the choice. Just put yourself in a situation where you don't have a choice. And that's why you go here.
I don't choose. Here I don't have a choice.
Yes. And that's exactly, no matter what happens, there can be a catastrophe, and you're putting into a situation. So, and then, what are you doing? You're lamenting all day long. Yeah. No, that's why we practice. We're practicing in dukkha, to see the reality of it. And it really doesn't have to affect our mind. The body, give enough nutrition to the body. That means, eat twice, if you want to. Because you just sinned bad. 8 precepts. So that means you're allowed to eat just before. and eat something like banana, that really helps a lot. Or some sticky rice. I mean, because if you eat sticky rice, if you just eat the white rice, I mean, it doesn't hold on long. If you eat the sticky rice, it holds on much, much longer.
I wanted to try because everybody's doing it. It must be good. It probably is good. So if it's good, then I'll do it. But
don't think, just try it out. I mean, it's a problem with us coming from the West, that we think too much. This is healthy and this is not healthy. What is healthy? I mean, what our body needs, that is healthy, and what our body doesn't need is not healthy. What our body, what it's helpful, to maintain this body, that is, that's what we need, and that's healthy. Healthy means just, giving us enough health, to do our practice. And we don't need a lot of strength, while sitting in meditation, where do we need the strength? But if you think a lot, of course you need a lot of energy. So if you stop thinking, I mean, there's nothing you need. Thinking wastes a lot of energy. So.
Because I'm trying to walk more.
Yeah.
I was walking.
Yeah.
I don't have enough food, that's why I'll just.
No. It's because the kilesas are tight.
But I sit. Because I like sitting. I'm trying to.
Do try to understand the things. I mean, when we do walking meditation, I mean, no matter if you have eaten enough or not, you will get tired. Yeah? Because the kilesas are tired. It's the same thing when you sit, When you sit long enough, you will get tired. Because the kilesas are tired of practicing. And so they tell you any kind of reasons, why they are tired. But they don't tell you the real reason. I'm too lazy to practice. I don't want to practice anymore. I want to play around. I mean, it's very easy, to test this out. Just the moment you think you really are tired, think about something that really excites your mind, or think about something really interesting, and instantly this tiredness is gone. Boop. And it's amazing. And then you start doing your Buddha, and then you instantly feel tired again. Oh, no, not again. Dukkha is the first noble truth, and it is the deeper we go into seeing the dukkha. No matter if we put it on ourselves, or if we put into a situation where this dukkha arises. Dukkha arises not because of the situation. Dukkha arises because of our ideas of how things should be. That's why the dukkha arises. And so that's why we put ourselves into these, sometimes in these different situations and sometimes into extreme situations, just to see it. Without seeing it, without seeing the dukkha, we cannot overcome dukkha. And if we have set our mind, to overcome dukkha, then we have to look for it. Think about all the Dhutanga practices we do. Eating once, is one of the Dhutangas. Why? To see the dukkha, to feel the hunger, to see. And we don't like these feelings, just like we don't like the feelings, when we sit dukkha vedana, when we sit through painful feelings, we don't like pain. We don't like all this uncomfortable feeling. And that's why we try, we try to reason ourselves out, why this uncomfortable, why do I have to get up, why do I have to stop, and all these things. Try to reason ourselves out of the dukkha. So in order not to face it, but we are here, to practice, to understand the true nature of dukkha. Where does the dukkha arise? What has the dukkha to do with me? Dukkha is dukkha, anicca, anatta. All these things are not me. Feeling is a feeling. Yeah? And the feeling, a painful feeling is a painful feeling, or a happy feeling is a happy feeling. Yeah? You have to understand the true nature of it in order to overcome it. So that we are not swayed by these unpleasant feelings or pleasant feelings. I mean, if there's a pleasant feelings, our thoughts go out. If there's an unpleasant feelings, our thoughts go out. We're constantly swayed, swayed forth and back by these feelings, or swayed forth and back by thinking, or by memories. So if you cannot stand still and just watch it arising and ceasing, just watching the nature of feeling or anatta of feeling, this feeling has nothing to do with the one who observes it. What has the car to do with the driver? I mean, it's one of the best examples. I mean, if the car breaks down, why should the driver feel unhappy? It's not him. It's not his. It doesn't belong to him. And it's all under the law of anicca. Our body goes, our body is born, we are born, and we die. We are born and we die. When we are born, we nearly die of the death of pain, of being born. And when we get old, we die in pain. And there's always pain. When we are human beings, if we are really lucky, I mean, we have only 50% of pain and 50% of dukkha or 50% of sukha, pleasant feeling. But most of us, just have 5% of sukha and 95% of dukkha. And that already makes a very comfortable life. So in order to understand the nature of dukkha and to understand the nature of sukha, I mean, that's why we have to investigate. How can we investigate something that we don't like? So we have to make it happen. We have to make it happen, that what we don't like. So that means putting ourselves into a situation that we don't like. Only then can we see, the nature of dukkha. And we see also the fleeting nature of this dukkha if we don't hold on to it. But some of us just love to hold on to this dukkha, or hold on to the depression, or hold on to these negative thoughts. I mean, see what they're doing to you. These negative thoughts. Oh, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good. It makes us really feel down. But we hold on to it, we hold on to, just like, you put your hand into the fire, I mean, you love the warmth, but you don't like it burning. So, I mean, you complain about, why is it burning? Why is it my hand burning? Why is my hand burning? But you always look in the different direction. You always look outside, what is the cause of my pain, instead of looking at your hand, that is in the fire. I mean, the moment you see that your hand is in the fire, I mean, you withdraw it. There's no question about it. And that's why we have to look at the dukkha. Be it investigating in, unpleasant feelings. When we sit, go through pain. When we walk, go through the tiredness. And the first thing is the tiredness. I mean, there's normally 3 hindrances that come up. The first thing is the tiredness that comes up. Then there's the boredom that comes up. So we first have to overcome the tiredness, then we have to overcome the boredom. And then, what's the third? Yeah, something like that. Something else comes up. Restlessness, we don't want to, we feel happy, and then we just want to stop. So if you don't walk on, we will never see it. We will never get to the end. If you don't sit on, we don't get to the end. We don't see that dukkha arises and ceases. Everything that arises has to cease, within its own time limit. But if we hold on to it, we can hold on negatively or positively to it. When it's a pleasant feeling, I mean, when we are in meditation and sitting and suddenly the feeling of calm or happiness comes up, we hold on to that. But we don't investigate what happened, how did this pleasant feeling came in. No? And it already has passed. We just hold on to the memory of the pleasant feeling. And it's the same thing for the negative. I mean, there's a moment, a negative or unpleasant feeling, and then we hold on to it. I don't like it. I mean, if meditation just brings only negative feelings, I don't like meditation. I'm meditating only to become peaceful and happy. How can we become peaceful and happy? I mean, if all the shit underneath boils up, constantly boils up. We just meet the right person, and our anger comes up. We just hear the right things, and our anger comes up. We just see the right things, our anger comes up. How this shit is all all in our heart, I mean, just sitting there happily, in meditation, doesn't solve any of these problems. So we have to actually look at the shit. And I mean, that's of course not pleasant. To look at all this unpleasant feeling. There you really need to be being calm. Not moving around. The chitta is really restless, so I mean it moves around the body. So I mean, if you think we are calm, then why do these situations happen? If we hear something about us, we instantly get either excited or we get really depressed. Somebody says something nice about us, we get excited. If somebody says something bad about us, we get depressed or we get angry. Why is that? We have to look at it. Where's the source? I mean, I told you, it's mostly in our views and opinions we have, This should be like this should be like that. That's why I tell you always to be staying in the present moment. The present moment just is. I mean, the present moment, if we have sati and it doesn't want this or it's not averted to that. Sati is the important thing. I mean, if you don't have enough sati, I mean, we will never be able, to get to the truth of the things. If we can't get to the truth of the things, we will not be able to uproot them. Don't look at your thoughts, don't think they are real. It's not real. The thoughts are not real. But they make us believe that they are reality. If I think, I'm in China, they make us believe I'm in China, if I happen to be there before. Or if I have a lot of memories, and saw a lot of pictures or videos about China, I can imagine, I mean, imagination, thoughts, memories, they are not real. I mean, they are moments of the past. And expectations of the future. So if something happens to us, that doesn't meet our expectations of the future, I mean, we get depressed. What's the point of it? We cannot change the situation. We can only be aware, have sati in the situation, and then the situation presents itself as just is. So where's the problem? If you want to have sunshine, and suddenly it pours down with rain, I mean, you cannot change it back to sunshine because you like sunshine. The situation just is, I mean, without expectations, without any hopes, without any views and opinions, I mean, the world is a lovely, peaceful place. But we don't like this and we don't like that, we want this and we don't want that, Especially also for food, I mean, if we eat only once a day, I mean, we want this kind of food, we don't like that kind of food, this is healthy, this isn't healthy, and all our views and opinions about is, and what is not. What is proper and what is not proper. Food is food. I mean, as long as it nourishes our body, that's okay. So just shuffle it in, or whatever. Be mindful, of the reaction of the food in your body. You see, and then over the time you will understand, this kind of food, it helps me, this kind of food bothers my meditation, makes me sleepy. This food, holds long in the body, and doesn't bother my meditation, or nurtures my meditation. I mean, we all view it in terms of how our practice is going. That's how we decide what kind of food is good. But we just eat for the pleasure of it. Oh, that's nice. Yesterday there were lots of this and lots of this. I could choose. And that makes it really nice. So we eat more. It's fine as long as we see. Everything is fine. As long as we have sati. Sati means, there is somebody who observes the results of one's doing, or sees what one is doing, and observes it. Without sati, we are just like blind. We are running and hitting ourselves against this rock and that rock, and this thing and that thing. We meet this person and that person, and we are completely swayed forth and back, forth and back, forth and back. Yeah, this is good. This is not good. This is good. This is not good. Can you see? Can you see? You want to get rid of it? Being constantly, one time you think, it's good, and the next time you think just the opposite. No, that's not good. Maybe that wasn't a great idea. Maybe this isn't a good idea. We live in our brain, we live in our imaginations. We live in our views and opinions, and we don't even know what is the true nature. We don't live in the present moment. The present moment really tells us. We live only because... Why? We want to control. We want to control the situation according to our views and opinions. And that's why we are so unhappy. Because we see, and everybody has realized it, that he cannot control the world. He cannot even control the situation he is in. So we have to understand that. We cannot control the breath. We cannot control our meditation. We can only observe, Only observe what is happening, If I do this, what is happening? What is the result of this action? When I do that, what is the result of this action? When I do that, what is the result of our actions? That's the only thing that we can observe. If we go according to our likes and dislikes, there's no way out. There's no end to it. Think about it. How often did you like to be reborn? So many times. Is 1 million billion not enough? Life is not yet enough. You want one more? Do the same things in the next life? Exactly the same thing. You are born, you train your body, and then you do something with this body, and then you die. You want to do this over and over again? You want to face all these problems, with the people, you like and you don't like, with the situations you like and you don't like. In some lives you have enough, in other lives you don't have enough. If that is what you like, then just go back into the world, and enjoy it. But we cannot enjoy it, and that's the reason why we come here. We want to find out the way out of dukkha. And the Lord Buddha teaches us the way out of dukkha by giving us the Four Noble Truths. That's dukkha. Dukkha. What is it? Restlessness is dukkha. Restlessness is the thing that completely, completely breaks us. Completely, it completely nerves us. This restlessness, when this restlessness starts coming up in our body, we need to do anything just to get it off. just to avoid it. All what we do is just trying to avoid this restlessness or the boredom, I mean, we don't know what to do, this boredom. That's also boring. I mean, the present moment is never boring. Because we are bored because nothing exciting is happening, and exciting, we define what is exciting and what is not exciting. I mean, the breath can be so exciting, just following, just observing the breath at the tip of the nose, we can completely be satisfied, completely be happy. But the kilesas, of course, think that's no fun. We need to do this. I mean, we need to build a chedi, we need to do this, we need to build a monastery, we need to learn this, and we need to learn that. That's the ideas of the kilesas. So, restlessness, boredom. And then, of course, painful feelings, bodily painful feelings, mentally painful feelings. All these things we put on ourselves. Because we do not yet understand the truth of these things. We don't understand they are anatta, they don't belong to us. We do understand sometimes when we are in a movie that we are not the characters on the film screen. But most of the time, we forget it. That's why we are excited about movies. If we don't forget it, what's the point of the movie? If you don't identify, with these characters on the screen, whatever they do, what's the point of watching? And it's the same thing for our inner movie the moment we close our eyes. What's the point? Why getting attached to these things? These things just rise and cease, and you will see them arise and cease, arise and cease. There's a feeling arisen, there's this feeling ceasing. There's another feeling arisen, and there's another feeling ceasing. There's the thought that arises, and the thought that ceases. What do they have to do with it? It's just like watching the rain. Next time when it rains, just watch the raindrops. They're just falling down, and then they vanish. They fall down and vanish. They fall down and vanish. They fall down and vanish. Where's the difference? A thought, falls down and vanishes. A feeling falls down and vanishes. Everything. Memory falls down and vanishes. What does it have to do with us? Is the rain us? Ask yourself. Next time you watch the rain. Is the rain you? And where is the difference? You see the rain falling. When we sit and close our eyes, we see these thoughts arising. How can we be these thoughts? That's the principle of anatta. That's what the Lord Buddha teaches us, to use anatta. That's not me, that's not mine, that doesn't belong to me. Because somebody knows about these things, just like we watch the rain. The raindrops falling, and they're falling, and they're falling, and they're falling, and then in the end they will stop. Then they fall again, and they stop, and they fall again, and they stop. And there's no end to it. It will rain, it stops raining, and then it will rain again, and then it stops raining, and it will rain again, and it stops raining. What has this rain to do with you? Ask yourself this question. So what do these feelings, what do these thoughts, what does this body have to do with you? It doesn't, One of you went to a surgery. It's not you. Otherwise, he took a piece out of you. He cut a piece from you. So, one piece of you is left, in the garbage bin. Or in the disposal bin of the hospital. Is that you? The blood that came out, is that you? You see it, you see it very clearly coming out. You see the flesh. Is that you? So who sees it? How can the flesh see itself? How does the flesh know it's you? The flesh is just the flesh. The skin is just the skin. The problem for us is we just see only the form. The skin, represents the form. If the skin is nice, we like the form, yeah? We like it, we like that person that has that nice skin. But under the hood, everybody is just the same. Be it old and be it young. Take off the skin, and what is there? There's blood, there's flesh. And if you cut deeper, there are bones, there are veins and arteries, and so on, and so on. There's the liver, Are you the liver? Are you this? Are you the lungs? Are you the stomach? Look in the stomach. What do you see there? It's just food. Whatever goes into the stomach, the stomach will decide what to do with it. Are you deciding what to do with it? You're only deciding what to put to your mouth, because we only want to taste. We don't eat, for the nutrition of the body. We eat for the taste. That tastes nice. That tastes nice. That tastes nice. And that's how we get deluded. What tastes nice not necessarily means, that it's healthy. So investigate, be mindful, use these principles of anicca, anatta, dukkha, where dukkha is the first noble truth. If you don't want to overcome dukkha, then you are certainly here at the wrong place. If you want to overcome dukkha, then you're certainly here at the right place. It teaches you to look at dukkha, and that means, you have to face up with dukkha, and that is, of course, not very pleasant. Facing up with dukkha means always really unpleasant. And then you see, so it's unpleasant, so come up. Neither loathe it, nor don't put it away. The moment we are against it, we put it away. And that prolongs it. The moment we are for it, it also comes. So don't be attached, just watch it like the raindrops fall. You're not attached to what kind of forms the raindrops have. So, just watch it, observe it like this. There's a feeling. There is a feeling. It's not my feeling. I'm depressed, then you're in trouble. When you say there's depression, let's have a look at it. What is depression? We have to boil down anything in our investigation. We have to come to the understanding what these things are. Because we're living in concepts, so we have to breaking down the concepts of all the concepts of what our world is like into the basic elements. And the basic elements are the five khandhas. That's part of the body, or that's a body. That's a feeling. That's a memory, or that's a thought. That's consciousness. Consciousness, we are not really up to the speed. Our sati is not up to the speed to catch consciousness on and off. So, everything that arises is within these five khandhas. There doesn't exist anything outside of these five khandhas. Whatever arises within you. Even if you see something from outside, even if you see the tree from outside, the image of the tree arises within you. And the association that this is a tree arises within you. So, and that's where we look. We look only inside. There's a thought. It's not my thought, I think, it's not my idea. No, there's an idea. If you have a basis to hold on to, it's not difficult. If you don't have a basis to hold on to, if you just watch, observe what is coming in the mind without having a basis where to hold on to, we don't know where we are floating to. We are floating around and thinking, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice. But if you have a basis, just like a boat has an anchor, it knows if there is a high wave or low wave. Otherwise, it doesn't have an anchor, it just goes, It just goes with the tide, or it just, follows out, goes with the wind, wherever it is, and we just look, there's water, there's water, there's water, there's water, And we think we have a basis. Once we put the anchor in, we see all the storm, the waves, breaking at the boat, and see all these things. So we have to establish an anchor inside ourselves, and that is our meditation object. Be it for the samatha meditation, for the calmness meditation, or be it also for the investigation. If without object, meditation is worthless. It's of no use. If we don't have a basis from where we're going to look on or investigate, then there's no investigation. There's no actual investigation. So we have to look at it. Develop sati. These things are not you. Just look at them, like the rain falling. Train yourself to do that. And be in the present moment. When I observe you, I hardly see you being in the present moment. You all live in your ideas. This should be done like this should be done like that. Then where's the difference, Leading leading a lay life or leading the life of a monk. I ask you to do things more quickly. Why do I ask you to do things more quickly? Is just for one reason, that you can't think. That you just do. Just observe your own doing. If you do it very quickly, you can't think about it. You just go ahead and do it. Once you got the basics, then just go and do it. Maybe some of you wondered, why we chant so fast in Vakpapantan. It is, to prevent the thoughts coming in while we chant. Once we memorized all the chants, people can chant, and think about all these nice things. They still can chant. It's amazing. So, but if you chant very fast, you don't have time to think in between. If you act very quickly, if you sweep quickly, if you do things really quickly, you don't have the time to think in between. That's why, in Vakpapantat, that always was with sati, quiet, and quickly. Lungta Mahabua was so on this quickly. Ajahn Dik told me, once he could chant the Patimok, Lungta said, okay, now it's okay. Now next time you're quicker. So that one gets not, that one doesn't get lost in thoughts while one is chanting. If you do it slowly, you see, once you know it really by heart, your thoughts go all over the place. When you chant in the evening, the evening and morning chant, you will see it. Where are your thoughts while you chant? How can that be? You're chanting, and at the same time thinking about this and thinking about that. If you do it quickly, there will not be. So, this is one of the training methods of Lungta Mahabua, to do things really quickly. The Kavat, to do it really quickly, without thinking, without talking. Just being mindful. Having sati, of what one is doing. Not the ideas. Then one doesn't sweep things that don't need to be swept, and sweeps things that needs to be swept. Because one has sati, one sees things, and instantly it is clear. How can it not be clear if we have sati? We see, we sweep half an hour for one leaf to go instead, for half a minute to bow down, and take off the leaf, when we see it doesn't go away. It's one typical example. When we do sweeping, or other things. You see it. You're drooling around. You're wasting the time, while you do these things. And do it really quickly. And carefully. Just be whole. It's the only task that you have at the moment. If you wash your bowl, it's the only task. But what do you think about when you're washing the bowl? Shall I tell you next time? You think about this and think about that. That's it's useless. That's not how we develop sati. I mean, you need the sati, when you do sitting meditation. You need the sati when you do walking meditation. Being really aware of every breath, really aware, completely soaked into this breath, completely filled up with this one breath, or completely filled up with this one Buddha, so that nothing else can enter. And that's how we can reach one-pointedness. You understand that? You don't see yet that, you do the duties because you have views and ideas about, how they should be done. It's the same thing, for living the life as a monk, you have all these ideas how one should behave, how one should this, because you have read it, but you haven't had yet the experience of being. Just be. Just be present in the very moment. Be aware of the thoughts that are coming in, and don't follow them. And you will see all these things that you have not seen. It's just like putting a light, onto something, that was hidden in the dark. And suddenly you see, you notice everything. I guarantee you will notice everything. You will see, why didn't I do that before? Because now it becomes clear, because our sati has improved. Now things become clear. And if our sati improves again, it becomes clearer. And it becomes clearer and not clearer and clearer. So we start to understand. It's just like you're putting out on our eyes cannot see, then we're putting on some glasses, but in the beginning these glasses are not sharp. So we replace them and replace them and replace them. They get stronger and stronger and stronger, and in the end, it's not like a magnifying loupe, that sees everything. So if we see everything, we can get rid of these things. But if they are hidden in the dark, how can we get rid of it? Understand that? How can we get rid of something that we don't know? You often use it. I don't know. I didn't see it. That should, this thing, just this answer, should lighten up an alarm lamp. Why didn't I see it? Next time I have to be more careful. I have to see it. I have to have more sati. You have to make it interesting. You're not here there just to serve your time in prison or serve your time in the military service. You're here to free yourself. It's of your own choice, And the faster you work on it, or the more determination you put in the practice, the more interest you put in the practice, but the faster it goes. The faster you can walk the path. But you're not interested anymore because now, after half a year, everything is so comfortable. We can live the rest of our life like that, and nothing has changed. We feel secure. That's a nice life. Once you get used to it, it's really a nice life. One can get used to it. And with this, with feeling comfort, with this kind of lifestyle, then we have to use the Dhuttangas, to bring out the kilesas again, to put ourselves in difficult situations, to put ourselves in unpleasant situations, to fight. Why should I put myself in this situation? If I do this, if I go home, I won't experience the situation. So, that means, you don't want even to see what is in the dark. Or? That what lurks in the dark, that is the danger. That is the thing, that makes us being born over and over and over again. If you want that, fine. Fine with me. I feel just sorry for you. If somebody really understands the truth of dukkha, he doesn't want to be reborn again. There's no way that he wants to be reborn and goes through the same problems. All the problems. If you don't know yet, what your problems are, then just look, there was something, that made you decide, to come or to seek out for meditation or to seek out Buddhism or to seek this or to seek that. There was a reason for it. And most probably the reason is because we are dissatisfied with the kind of life we've seen, just going to work, going back home, and eating something and entertaining ourselves and then go back and then sleep and then go back to work, that's not the kind of life that we dreamed about. It's not satisfying in itself. Whatever we look out in the world, it just vanishes out under our own eyes, instantly. We grab something, it's just like soap bubbles, they are really colorful, some of them are big and some of them are small, and we grab one after the other, and each time, we catch them, they burst. And then we run after the next. Catch it and burst. We run after the next, it catches and bursts. Look at children, they can play for hours. Like that. And in this sense, we are children. We're not only playing for hours, but we are playing for millions of billions of lives. Just the same thing. Running after soap bubbles. Running after our ideas. Finding this excitement, all what we want to find is really happiness. Finding the excitement in this and finding the excitement in that. The moment we catch it, it's gone. The excitement is gone. And then we run out for the next soap bubble. Aren't you tired of it? The more you understand that everything is the same. The soap bubbles are all colorful. You're just distinguishing, this is bigger, this is, this has more violet in it, this has more green in it, this has more blue in it, and so on. And you run, and they burst under our own eyes. Then they run again, and burst, and then run again, and burst. And you see, once you sit down in meditation, they can't stop. The thoughts running after all these excitements, they can't stop. They can't stop. And that's why we get born, reborn, die, get old, sick. Born again, get old, die, sick, born again. If you don't put an end to it, there will be no end. You understand that clearly? If we don't have the interest, if we don't see dukkha clearly enough, that gives us the motivation to get the hell out of here. To get the hell out of this. Out of this dissatisfaction. Once you're out of this dissatisfaction, wherever you are, be it in the middle of the desert or be it here, in the paradise, you're at ease. You don't need the paradise, You don't loathe the desert. You're happy wherever you go. You're unconditioned. Now you're completely conditioned, you condition your life as monks already. This should be like this should be like this, I do like this, should I do like this, So, you're in a new conditioning. You just change the conditioning from worldly conditioning to worldly monthly conditioning. Without the interest, what the hell is going on? I was always asking myself, what the hell is going on? Who tells you to do this? Who tells you to like this? Who tells you to not to like this? I wanted to find out. And this interest is our motivation. This interest, even finding out, the breath, each detail about the breath or each detail about the Buddha. This is our motivation, to get into one-pointedness, to find happiness. Because once the mind stops, once the chitta, stops thinking, how can we not be happy? It's that what bothers us, this constant thinking, this constant memorizing, this constant creating ideas. How can we not be happy if this mind stops working? But when we come out, it starts again. So why does it start again? And that's where we have to use the investigation. Investigation. What do we investigate? We investigate this body because that is the biggest problem of all. The body constantly gives us. The body is tired. The body needs some food. The body needs some water. The body needs to shit to relieve the old food, And then after we relieve the old food, we need to stuff in new food, We relieve the old water, and we need to drink some water. We constantly have to take care of the body. All our life is only about this body. To make it most comfortable for the body. We never think about it making it most comfortable for the chitta. Let the body be body. Give it what it needs, and that's it. And it's done within an hour, in the morning. We have our food, and that's it. We have a drink, in the afternoon. That's it. We're wasting so much time. This and this and this and this and this. And the Mahaprabhu just says, they just live for their tongue. They're just living for their tongue and their stomach. They're not interested in anything. They're not interested in working hard. Do understand, do see the dukkha and get the motivation, however you get it, ask yourself, if you feel demotivated, if you feel tired, ask yourself, do I want to be born again? Do I want to go through the whole shit, of this life, of these 20, 30 or 40, 50 years of life? Do I want to go through again? Feel the heat of the sun or the cold of the winter. Feel the heat of puberty, and feel all these. Going through school again, learning this, learning that. Why do we learn these things? In order to feed this body. That's why we learn. We need to feed this body. We need to have some sort of work, and that's why we need to learn. If we want to feed it well, we learn a lot. If we don't want to feed it well, we learn little. If we want to live comfortable, we need to learn a lot. We need to have a good job, that brings in money, and otherwise, we just are happy with whatever the body needs. It needs some shelter, it needs some clothes, it needs some medicine, it needs food. That's all what it needs. So investigate the body. Investigating the body, like I said before, don't forget it. Whatever we do, we need this anchor. The anchor, be it the Buddha, be it the breath, or investigation of the body, be it the object of investigation. When you do the investigation of the body, just pick one of the objects. Take the skins, take the teeth, or take whatever outside of the body, and take the hair of the head or the hair of the body, or the nails, the fingernails or toenails. Take them as object. And for the next hour or for the next 2 hours, this is the only object. You just can repeat it just like your Buddha. You have to have a basis, otherwise, just going through, just asking about this and this and this, you will lose it. As long as you have the basis of this object, and don't leave this object, the investigation has to bring results. It will show you something. It will show you certain things that you have never known before. See, you need to do it. In the beginning of investigation, we actually need to visualize it. So, we use the word, when we want to investigate, for instance, our lungs, okay, then sit down and close our eyes, lungs. We focus on this object until we can see it. In the beginning we might need or it's helpful, just looking at one of the medical images of a lung, and then, taking this medical image until it pops clearly up in our mind. Until we can see it, within our inner eyes. And then we can take a knife, and cut it apart, cut it open. And then once we can do that, we can use our own body or the body of somebody else. And then we can start to do these things, just like taking off the skin, or then taking off the flesh, or taking off the sinews and tendons, and so on, and so on, and so on, until we only see the bones. Or watch a decay. But we have to have in mind, we have to have a basis, we have to have an anchor. So, the object cannot change within our investigation. And that's how we're going to understand. Once the image comes up, and we need to develop this image. We need to develop the ability, to see it. Some people can see it very clearly. Some people see it so it's enough, It's not so clear, but it's enough to understand it. And that's okay. But you have to see it. You have to see it with your inner eyes. This training is not easy. It takes months, or it might be even take years, until you see the image of this body. If you don't see it, how can you deal with it? It's all what you're doing is thinking about it. Has thinking about anything, solved the problem? Never. It has never solved any problem. Only action has solved it. So, you need to establish this image of the body, whatever part of the body it is, in your mind, be it the hairs, once you get the image of the hair in your inner eyes, then you can enlarge it, or you can zoom out, you can zoom in, you can cut it up, and you can look at the roots, and you will see it. The chitta knows all these things. How can it not know? It is the owner of the body. How can it not know the parts? Just like the constructor of an engine knows every part, but he puts it into a nice, tin bag, so he doesn't have to look at it. And then he forgets how it looks like. But he knew how to construct it. The moment he opens up, this tin bag, or what we call a car, looks under the hood. Yes. yeah, I remember. That works this, and that, that works that. You will start to understand. But if you don't have, if you cannot bring up the image in our investigation, what do we investigate? Ask yourself, what do we investigate? Do we investigate our thoughts? Do we investigate, what is it? And in the beginning, when we bring up these images, in the beginning it might, if we take the outer parts, it might not be so slothsome. But when we start to bring up the inner parts, we will really get disgusted. Just like, if we can watch our own operation, where's the beauty of this body? Blood splashing out, and the bits of pieces of your flesh, in front of you, the smell of all of it. Where does it come from? That's what we so much, what we adore, that's what we love, That's what we make up, as if you couldn't exist without this body. Just close your eyes, go into samadhi, and there's no body. There's not even the slightest feeling. There's no sensation. But we are constantly running out for these sensations. That's painful sensation. That's a pleasant sensation. We run after the pleasant sensation, and we detest the unpleasant situation. Just like a dog. I remember my example, the dog. We bind a sausage in front of his nose. So that he can't reach it, but it's close enough so that he can smell it, and some tin cans on his tail, and then he will run until he dies. He will always run after the sausage and always run away from the tin cans, always from this loud noise. If he stops, he will see, okay, these things falling into places. The noise, suddenly stops. So he will not run again. He will stop running. You remember the Angulimala Sutta, where the Lord Buddha, who was running away from Angulimala, on the question of Angulimala, why don't you stop? Stop running. And then the Lord Buddha answered, why? I stopped running. I stopped running a long time ago. We stop running after these sensations, we just see them, And see them, they are not belonging to us. So they have their own nature. They arise, and they cease. And the moment we can see they arising and ceasing, we can see the root of it. Why do they arise? Huh? Where do they arise? I mean, if you're constantly into motion, how can we see? Huh? How can the dog see? That actually the sausage is in front of its nose. Huh? You cannot snap after it because it's too far away. So he's running after it. He thinks. We only think. We can catch it. Just like it's the same thing with the soap operas. Running after catching it in a bursting. Running after catching it bursting. Huh? How long you want to do that? You're not getting tired of that. You're only getting tired of your Buddha, or you're only getting tired of walking meditation. That's boring. Huh? Running after things that we never get, that's never boring. Huh? Think about it. Really think about it. Running after these things is not boring. Huh? Constantly running after these nice thoughts that we have. Huh? Implementing these nice thoughts. Why do we want to have a nice thought? Huh? When meditation is boring, we implement these nice thoughts. Let's think about this, let's think about that. Huh? Because we don't want to see dukkha. We don't want to see dukkha. We don't want to see or feel, really feel the dukkha, boredom. Boredom is always there. Huh? Restlessness is always there. We can always see. Dukkha is one of the noble truths. It's always there. We just need to open our eyes and see. You understand, for both the investigation and samadhi, we need an anchor. And for investigation of the body, you have to be able to visualize the parts of the body. Use it, use medical images, that's fine. Use Asupa images, that's fine. Huh? Whatever. In the beginning it's so difficult. Just use it. If it comes naturally, you don't need to use it. Huh? In the beginning, use external objects. Look at somebody else, and get that image. Huh? If you don't want to operate on yourself. And then operate on this person. Cut it open. Huh? Be it male or female, just cut it open it up. No? And remember, if you really cut it open, you will nearly faint. No? Each doctor, the first time he opens up a corpse, he faints or vomits. Why? No? Because we don't want to see the mess that we constantly carry around with us. Understand that? We don't want to see the mess that we are carrying around every step. A big bag of shit. Huh? A big bag of loathsome things we carry on and we attach to these things. Huh? We don't let go of these things. That's the moment we open it up, do I really want to carry this around with me? Huh? Don't think logically like we are taught in the West. Yes, I need this. I need the liver. I need the lung. Without the lung, I will die. Don't use logical reasoning in this sense. Huh? Not the reasoning of the West. Huh? Not that logic of the West. Huh? It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful machinery. It's fascinating how it works. Huh? That doesn't teach us anything. It doesn't teach us, it's not me, it's not mine, it doesn't belong to me. It just, gives us another sort of admiration for this body. So we want to keep it. Huh? We want to keep, inhabiting it over and over and over again. Huh? See it as it is. Huh? Why do you carry this flesh, this blood, this poos, this piss, this shit, in your back, and cling to it and say, this is me, this is mine, and belongs to me. Why? Ask yourself, why do I do that? Huh? Be interested in your practice, that gives you motivation. Why the hell am I stuck in this place? Huh? What the hell did I do to get stuck in this kind of body? And how the hell do I get out? The interest is that. 100% interest is 100% concentration. I mean, if you accepted half of it, half-heartedly. I mean, half-heartedly has never given any results. I mean, if you do something, if we practice full-heartedly, if we practice really determined, without looking left and looking right, just looking in front of us, looking at the present moment, then we get results. Otherwise, half-heartedly, I should do that. It's useful to do that. Maybe tomorrow, or maybe I try it a little bit. Now it's getting boring, now it's getting painful, maybe I should stop now. That's the way, when we practice half-heartedly. When we practice determined and full-heartedly, I mean we say, that's interesting, let's go. There's a painful feeling, let's see what the nature of it is. Where does it come from? And then we see, the moment we concentrate on, poops, it's gone. Next. Where is it coming from? The moment we concentrate on, that's interesting. I mean, everything turns around. I mean, actually, it is like putting a very, very pleasant situation, turning a very unpleasant situation into a very pleasant situation because we are interested in it. The moment we are interested in, I mean, there's no feeling of dukkha. There's no feeling of mind dukkha or the dukkha of the heart. I mean, there's just a feeling. The feeling of the body. And we constantly have things. Not just close your eyes, and I mean, you constantly feel anything, anywhere. I mean, just you need to scan a little bit through the body, and I mean, you know it everywhere. Everywhere is a feeling. Wherever you go with your consciousness, there is a feeling. Wherever you go with your sati, there is a feeling. Full of feelings. You pick out one, I don't like this. I like this. So get interested into practice. There's 1 month left, of the Pansa. I mean, get interested, get some results, do things full-heartedly, and don't get complacent. Otherwise, I mean, what's the reason, why I should give a talk, I mean, there's no other reason to spur you into, to see, desolation that we are in. We think we are not in a desolation, because we have an escape plan. I mean, some people want to go back to Bangkok, other people want to disrobe, other people want to do this and that, so we have an escape plan. So that is, leaving the door open. I mean, we have to close this door, in order, to face the reality and get some results. As long as we have this option to opt out, I mean, we don't get full results. I do it, whenever, I'm more comfortable, there. It's more, if I can do what I like, I mean, now I have to follow all these monk rules, it's not good, I cannot meditate, the kilesas, I cannot meditate the way I like. The way the kilesas like. So they fool us. I mean, as long as we have this opting out, if we have an option, where we can go out of this, this situation, I mean, that is practicing half-heartedly. That's not practicing full-heartedly. You're determined now. I mean, it doesn't matter, you don't have to determine it live, but now for now, close all the doors. Let the past be past and let the future be future. Just be in the present moment, and fight. Be determined, Understand, don't live in your dreams. Don't live in your ideas what practice is, how practice should be. I mean, just have your anchor, I mean, all what you have to remember is, I mean, do I do samatha or do I do investigation? And when I do investigation, what object is it? And remember, as a basis, I mean, for investigation, I mean, you have to get this visual image. That is the basic, before we can operate. I mean, some of the talks of Lungta Mahabodhi where he talks, putting the asubha placing the super picture in front of your eyes and then placing the super picture in front of your eyes and don't destroy any of it. Huh? You know these talks, so in order to develop this, first of all you have to be able to place these pictures in front of your own eyes, and to hold them steady. Huh? When he talks about the final stage, getting rid of greed and hate. Huh? In order for that, we have to train it. Huh? So train it now. Huh? If you have enough calm, being able to concentrate, and then use it. Use it to get this picture. Huh? But don't go then, sometimes, you can use this kind of pictures when you do investigation. Don't go into calm. Huh? The chitta can get extremely calm, looking at these pictures. And then we just fall into calm. Then that's not investigation. Huh? We use the same principle, concentrating on one object to get into calm, be it the object of Buddha or be it the object of breath. Now, we take the object of skin, we can get calm just the same way, but we don't want to do that. So, once the image is created, we enlarge it or we zoom out or we zoom in, cut it up, observe it, what is happening to this image. And don't go into the calm. Because that's mixing up, and you think you're doing investigation, but actually you're doing calm. Just with an object of investigation. And that's not going to bring results. Because then, once we have the object, we have to start the questions. Let it deteriorate, a thought is necessary. How does it look, when it's sick? How does it look, when it's deteriorated? How does it look, when it's bloated up, and things like that. How does it look when I cut it open? So, things like that. Okay? I hope you understand. Take it to heart. Yeah? And get the determination. It's, you feel too complacent. Get the determination to put it. Don't run after all these soap operas. Also cut down on the time for for Nampana. It's taking too much time. It's not good. It's not helpful for your practice. Just drink a coffee, for the next month, really put some effort in your practice. Just take some coffee or just take some sweets, and then go back. 5-10 minutes and it's finished. Lingering around, for an hour. Talking about this, talking about that, destroying all our effort that we have done during the morning. So, do you have any questions? Questions?
No questions, but I think it's not the opposite, that because I have hand operating, I am really working very hard because I know that, or else, why would I eat it? Because it's a big effort, so I'm like, or else I would be happily in handcuffs, but because I'm here, so I'm being really, it's serious, because, or else, why would I go through this hardship?
Yes.
More serious.
Yeah, that is clear. That's why they are also here. But as long as we have, as long as we think of the object, but you don't have to think. You close this door by not thinking about it. Okay.
More serious than normal.
Okay. Don't think about it. What am I going to do? Because, the moment you start, when I'm coming back, what I'm going to do, that's where you open the door. So don't open the door. Just for the time being, don't open the door. And the pastor, what have I done, It's also closed. And that holds also true for the monks. I mean, it's the same thing. Doesn't matter if you're a lay person or a monk. I mean, they are constantly have the open, I'm going to disrobe, and then enjoy all the senses, And it's the same thing, going back to Bangkok, having it comfortable in a nice apartment, or going back into the lay life, not all following all these obnoxious rules that we go through, We think these are obnoxious, but they are all protecting. They're all protecting us. The whole style of the Dhutanga Forest Kammatthana tradition is protecting us from not going back. I mean, Luang Por Khat yesterday said, what happens to the monks that disrobe? You understood what he said? Yeah, I mean they just go completely, they get completely lost in the senses. They just switch to the opposite. I mean, they force themselves, to contain themselves within the rules. Once they're getting out, they suddenly, drink much more alcohol than anybody else, and do all the bad stuff, because they think now we're free, we can do it. And then he said, in the end, they will end up in hell much, much longer than anybody else, because of that. Because we have restrained ourselves as monks, the moment, and you just look at the monks, most of them disrobe, they completely go in the opposite. We are not restraining ourselves, to do something bad on us. We are restraining ourselves for our own freedom, for the freedom of investigation, for the freedom to find the way out of dukkha. That's why we're restraining ourselves to see the dukkha, to be able to fight the dukkha. Not restraining ourselves because we want to look like be ascetics, I mean, that just like the priests, who preach about, purity of heart, and then you find them going into a, brothel. Because they preach it to all others, but they cannot hold on for themselves. That's the restraining done in the wrong sense. Don't think about, it's restraining. Actually it's protecting. All these rules that we have as monks, or, when you're a lay person taking on the 8 precepts, it's protecting us from falling into evil. Okay. I hope the monks believe it as well.
I know for me, and at this age I've been through, I know this is it, but I just have to. But I won't. It's not like, this is, and then I'll go enjoy myself. No, I know this is it.
Yeah. I didn't say anything. But there's something, that fights within you.
So the use of comfort, that I know that this is not, and it's not that I'm so restrained that I'll be blah, blah, blah.
No, I'm not talking about you as a lay person, I'm talking about monks that restrain themselves much more. And that's what Luang Por Khat was talking about. So the more you restrain yourself, the more likely when you give up that restraint, the more you go into the other extreme, the excess. And when you look at the monks who have disrobed, that's normally the case.
I find it's the other way around because we've been trained pretty well. So even if we go back, then it's easier because we've been trained so well to restrain ourselves and to not, like this. I thought.
It depends on how you see this restraining yourself. If you see the restraining yourself, as a burden, then you will go into the other extreme. If you see the restraining as actually a wall protecting from you, then you will restrain yourself no matter where you are. But why do monks disrobe? Yeah, because they're unhappy. So, they feel they're restrained. They don't feel that the rules are protecting them. They feel that the rules are keeping them from having fun. And that's why they go back into the lay life. There's no other reason. We have a perfect life. Look at us. We get fed very well. We have a nice kuti to stay in. We have all the things, all the things are given to us. You had to work for all these things, and the burden of it. Every one of most of us know the burden of getting work, and earning money. What kind of burden it is. Now it is all given to us. I mean, that it includes you, it includes lay people, as long as they're in monastery, everything is given to them. Food, shelter, and so on.
When I didn't have a job, I remember thinking that it's nice to have money, but I'm so tired. Use less money, then I won't have to work so hard. But that was before all of this came up, and it's like if I have less wants, less desires, then I don't have to try to make more money.
Okay, that's bit of wisdom, yeah. That's wisdom. A lot of people don't have this wisdom. They're just no, it's not laziness. Okay? Any more questions?